7:53. Now, the Lib Dems and the SNP have lost their legal challenge to be included in an ITV head-to-head debate ahead of the general election. The channel is due to air a face-off between Tory leader Boris Johnson and Labour's Jeremy Corbyn tomorrow evening. But the Lib Dems said they wanted their pro-Remain stance to be represented, while the SNP also wanted the issue of Scottish independence to be raised. Well, let's talk to Hannah Bardell, SNP spokesperson for digital culture, media and sport, and a candidate in the election. Hannah, very good evening. Obviously,
good evening. Lovely to be with you.
Well, Andrew, lovely to have you on the show. Obviously, you'll be disappointed at the fact that you've lost this hearing. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just disappointment. I think it really is democratically pretty disgraceful that, you know, we have a media which is supposed to represent all four nations of the UK and a duty to represent and reflect you know, the views of our citizens across the UK. The SNP are being locked out. I mean, the SNP are the third largest party in the UK. We won the last two general elections in Scotland, the last three elections in Scotland, and then we've been in power for the last 12 years. And, you know, frankly, at a time when the public are fed up with the binary nature of Westminster politics, and we're doing things a lot better in the devolved nations. We've got a rainbow parliament in the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Assembly, and people actually work together to get things done. I think that needs to be represented at Westminster. I mean, we've had devolution for over 20 years. This is not difficult. I think that the broadcasters also are letting people down, because for anybody that watches PMQs and sees Boris Johnson going up against Jeremy Corbyn for half an hour week in, week out, it is utterly dull. So I think that ITV it's folly on their part, because their viewing figures are not going to be anything like if they had Nicola Sturgeon in there. Well,
the court's decision, I mean, they can only go by the law, and they can only go by the broadcasting code, and in their view, ITV hasn't broken the broadcasting code.
And I think there's questions to be asked about that, certainly in terms of the broadcasting code.
Well, there's not much time to take it to a higher court, is there? Because the debate's tomorrow night.
Well, indeed, and I think that's, you know, we're in a position where people accept that these TV debates are part of our political discourse, and the media has got a really critical role to play in shaping our worldview and how we make our decisions. You know, the people that are selected, or the parties that are selected, are just as important as those who are left out. And so, you know, the views of about 50% of people in Scotland favour independence, 70% who favour Remain, are going to be completely ignored. And, you know, we were told time and time again by Labour and Conservatives in Scotland, well, it was a UK-wide vote, despite the fact that Scotland voted 62% to Remain. But when it comes to a UK-wide debate, oh no, you know, Scotland's not allowed to have its voice heard by its largest party.
But presumably ITV and the BBC will be holding debates in Scotland, which will feature the SNP, and obviously you're only standing in Scotland.
Yeah, but, well, we sit at, you know, we won 35 of the 59 seats at the last general election. We are there.
Yeah, sure, but it's only Scottish voters who can vote for you.
Yes. Although it is interesting that there was a poll in 2015 that said if the SNP stood in other parts of the UK, would be more popular than the Liberal Democrats.
Well, I challenged Nicola Sturgeon to do that, and I think that would be quite entertaining if you did.
I think it might be entertaining, but it's unlikely, and I'm not about to make policy on the hoof. But you know, you have to understand, you know, people are paying their licence fee for the BBC, and people are being, you know, receiving broadcasts from ITV. It's a UK broadcaster. You know, devolution is not a complex thing. It's pretty straightforward. It's been around for a long time, and we are still, Scotland is not yet independent. But this is the kind of thing that people and viewers in Scotland will look at and will say, yeah, do you know what? That doesn't fairly represent our voices. All
I can say is we will be having your Westminster leader, Ian Blackford, on my Sunday show the Sunday before the election for an extended interview. So we can't say fairer than that.
No, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that LBC is doing its democratic duty, and we are very grateful.
We always do, and we're going to do so in about 2 minutes' time with leaders of some of the minority parties as well. But before then, Britons are being warned to